Rorschach's Journal, October 12th, 1985.
This ruthless vigilante sees morality in black and white. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we will explore the comic book origin of Walter Kovacs, otherwise known as Rorschach.
Because there is good and evil must be punished, even in the face of Armageddon. I will not compromise in this.
As with most comic book characters, there are often reimaginings and different versions to a character's past. We've chosen to primarily follow the storyline which unfolded in 1986's 12-issue Watchmen series. In his debut comic appearance, Rorschach was introduced as a mysterious masked man investigating the death of Edward Blake, another superhero known as the Comedian, who was thrown out of his apartment window. Shown to be living in an alternate version of the 1980s, Rorschach began to theorize that someone was targeting former crime fighters. Searching for leads and crossing off potential suspects, his first action was to warn his friend Daniel, otherwise known as the retired superhero Night Owl. While Daniel thought the comedian's death was a political statement, Rorschach's suspicion grew that there was indeed a larger plot afoot. Continuing to push for answers, Rorschach visited other former superheroes, including the godlike Dr. Manhattan and the rich industrialist Adrian Veidt, otherwise known as Ozymandias. During his investigations and meetings with other superheroes, Rorschach was reminded how much everyone hated the comedian. As though he fought for the country, he was a despicable human being. At the same time, Dr. Manhattan was convinced by the media to go into exile, believing he was spreading cancer to those around him. This only further proved Rorschach's theory that a major plot was in play. One night, while following up on a lead, Rorschach was set up and arrested by the police.
Rorschach! This is the police! We know you're in there!
No!
When the police removed his mask, it was revealed that he was the supposedly crazy person who'd been seen holding a sign that read, "The end is nigh," in a number of the earlier scenes, revealing that he was secretly watching many of the major events in disguise. When talking to a therapist in prison, he briefly revealed that he was indeed a psychopath who regarded his mask as his true face. He explained that he had had a brutal childhood as the son of a prostitute, which instilled him with a hatred for what he described as the scum of society. While working in a garment factory, he found a piece of fabric that contained fluids between two layers that changed patterns depending on heat and pressure. This allowed him to make his infamous shifting mask. After taking up work as a vigilante, he came upon the remains of a little girl that had been kidnapped, apparently abused, and eventually fed to dogs. After killing the dogs in question, he waited for the kidnapper to return, handcuffed him to a furnace, and then burnt him alive. It was here that he believes that Rorschach was born, for it was then that he came to realize that, like an inkblot Rorschach test, there is no real meaning to the world other than that which we project onto it.
Whatever was left of Walter Kovacs died that night with that little girl. From then on, there was only Rorschach.
Following his breakout, thanks to the help from his friend Night Owl, Rorschach came to the realization that Ozymandias had killed the comedian, who knew about his plan but wouldn't go along with it, and had orchestrated the departure of Dr. Manhattan from Earth so that he could destroy New York. This was all done in order to unite the people of the world who had come to be hateful of each other, unifying them across borders under what they perceived to be a common enemy.
Humanity's savage nature will inevitably lead to global annihilation. So in order to save this planet, I had to trick it.
Killing millions.
To save billions.
As the devastation had already been unleashed while Rorschach and the Night Owl battled Ozymandias, Rorschach could do little but become enraged with the loss of millions of innocent lives. Though Dr. Manhattan returned to Earth with the plans to help Rorschach and stop Ozymandias, the godlike being realized that the plan had worked, that though New York had been devastated, the world had been brought back from the edge of nuclear war. While Night Owl realized that the truth would undermine the sacrifices made, Rorschach's strict black and white moral code dictated that the world must be told the truth, regardless of the common good. Realizing that Dr. Manhattan would not allow him to do so, he allowed the demigod to kill him.
What are you waiting for?
Do it!
Little did anyone suspect that he'd sent his journal to the press, revealing everything he had learned. A popular and one-of-a-kind superhero, Rorschach finally got the big screen treatment in 2009's film adaptation, where he was faithfully portrayed by actor Jackie Earle Haley.
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
Are you a fan of this brutal moral compass of the Watchmen series? For more thrilling comic book origins, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Rorschach's Journal, October 12th, 1985. Tonight, a comedian died in New York.